But listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Miss Pugh,
would
don't
my
speak over me.
incarceration
Miss
be
Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen, Miss Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me.
where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
You can go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
Today's courtroom clip brings us a face-off between a very no-nonsense judge and a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen who seems convinced that a single sheet of paper can override the law. She walked in confidently, clutching her notes, ready to deliver her so-called legal arguments, as if they would instantly change the outcome of the hearing. What makes this situation so striking is the clear contrast. On one side, a judge firmly rooted in the law and procedure, and on the other, a defendant relying on internet scripts and catchphrases that have failed countless times before. Instead of a groundbreaking defense, what we see is confusion, frustration, and ultimately a reminder of how serious courtrooms really are. But it's almost as if she expected to walk in, read a few lines, and walk out free of responsibility. But reality works very differently, especially under the watchful eye of a judge who has clearly heard these tactics many times before. This clash isn't just about the law. It's also a look at how misinformation can convince people to take risks that only hurt them in the end. Stick around as we break down this intense exchange, and let us know in the comments what you think about how the judge handled the situation. This hearing promises a mix of tension, disbelief, and a sharp reminder that courtroom theatrics don't replace real legal arguments.
Good morning. Are you Janetta Pugh?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand.
Beneficiary of that estate.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar page, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right, so Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest. Your Honor.
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself, or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you, or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it, and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus, and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel, defective defense.
It's overruled. You're running out, aren't you?
No, it's fine.
The scene quickly turns into a spectacle, and it's clear this hearing is going in a very predictable direction. The judge remains calm and composed, letting the defendant go through her prepared statements without interruption. It almost feels as though the judge is waiting for her to realize on her own that these arguments simply don't hold any weight in a courtroom. What makes this moment so unusual is the confidence the defendant carries. She appears convinced that by reading from her paper, she's uncovered some hidden key to avoid the law altogether. But the truth is, courts across the country have consistently rejected these kinds of claims, especially the familiar phrases like, "I don't consent." Legal systems just don't work that way, and no amount of repetition changes jurisdiction or established law at the same time. There's something curious about her approach. She addresses the judge respectfully, even saying "Your Honor," which shows she isn't openly hostile. Yet it's just as clear that she's deeply misled. Watching her cling to a script that has no legal standing raises bigger questions. How did she come to believe this was the right path? And what led her so far down this particular rabbit hole? It almost feels like she's caught between two worlds. On one hand, polite and composed, and on the other, firmly locked into ideas that don't stand up under legal scrutiny. That contradiction makes the hearing both fascinating and frustrating to watch. Tell us in the comments, what do you make of this? Is it simply misguided confidence, or something bigger about how misinformation spreads? Either way, the hearing is far from finished. And what happens next shows exactly why experience and knowledge of the law always outweigh shortcuts and internet scripts.
So here's the thing, Ms. Pugh. I appreciate your position, but listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Ms. Pugh, don't
with my
speak over me.
incarceration, respectfully, Your Honor, with my incarceration being
Ms.
involved-
Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on, listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why, is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointed
Go back.
agents.
You already said that, and that's overruled.
Is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
That first hearing may have ended, but the story doesn't stop there. The same defendant actually returns to court on another date. And yes, we've got that hearing lined up as well. If you thought the first round was frustrating, you'll definitely want to see how things play out this time. At this point, you almost have to give credit to the judge. Sitting through repeated sovereign citizen arguments takes incredible patience. It's like holding conversation with someone who refuses to speak the same language, except they truly believe they've discovered a secret legal code that no one else understands. The judge's composure in the face of all that is nothing short of remarkable. What stands out here is the balance the judge manages to strike, firm when necessary, but also surprisingly patient. She listens, lets the defendant finish, and only then explains why these claims don't hold up. That combination of authority and restraint is impressive, especially when faced with arguments that have already been dismissed countless times in courts across the country. So, what do you think of the judge so far? Has she been too patient or exactly as firm as the situation requires? From where I'm sitting, she's handled it with a steady hand, making sure the process stays on track without losing her cool. But things don't end here. The next round of this hearing brings even more tension, and it's worth watching to see whether the courtroom gets calmer or if the sparks really start to fly.